Now, Dennis Miracles Aboagye Zinze may be able to Ghana for you know Akade. The way a man warrior LGBT anti-LGBT bill no. Now so we NDC for see whether in politics no. Also na some no yen. Now also the NPP abandoning jina homa obi abaje the aman yamana that to copy me there. Already na nanado his excellency we to wake in Anglican church. No we na to know as there. Inyazo obaje atum nti Ghana na NDC for one how you there. The corner of the way politics with LGBT, I don't know yet. Nanyeda wabanda. Asamno, no more do. Now, as at now, I have every evidence to prove so. Now, moving from that particular Samano, there was also penny be one to know to know can be there. It looks like taxes or let's say business will come. If you believe this, to say Juma Kuna or Juma Wagana man, if they can find other countries now, would they be able to survive? Because taxes now are the same to know a man for free. And I know for sure that Canada, US, UK, one of taxes, they are way more than what we even pay here in Ghana. It is will be argument or Tidama. And Opado Cheddar, Opado government Mufiana. Ni Mama Zebra in this particular episode, from Kuska. Video.
One of the things that it's obviously paying out again in this conversation is the fact that Ghana, we always and at all times have to find a way to polarize and unnecessarily make very genuine issues extremely partisan, and always find a way to box people into spaces where they are not, just to satisfy our parochial political interests. The law, as has been passed, is a law proposed by MPP members of parliament and NDC members of parliament. Is that correct?
You mean the anti-LGBTQ platform?
Is that correct?
Yes. It was approved unanimously by
Not
parliament.
Just approved. It's a private members bill.
The sponsors of the bill?
Sponsored by MPP members of parliament.
And NPP
and NDC members of parliament. Is that correct?
Indeed.
I just want us to,
That's established.
Number two, the law, when it was presented in parliament, and all the work that was done at the committee level was done purely on consensus by both MPP members and NDC members. Is that also correct?
That's true.
Number three, the law and its passage on the floor of the House and all of its accompanying amendments have been done by both MPP members and NDC members. As a matter of fact, you've had several views in terms of amendments raised on the floor of the House. Recently, I was reading one about Honorable Sosu Madina MP, NDC MP, who was saying that he was completely against jail term for citizens who are engaged in LGBTQI. The law, yes, as has been passed, is a law purely passed based on consensus, largely by everybody across the political divide. On the floor of the House, there was a complete consensus on the passage of the law. There are members of parliament who raised issues of amendments in the law, and these amendments were either carried or thrown away. But in principle, nobody from the MPP or the NDC side has been against the passage of the law. That's a fact. And the law has been passed.
Approved by parliament.
Yes, approved by parliament. Then it has to be transmitted to the president for the president to assent to it or otherwise, or raise concerns. Don't forget, when it's transmitted to the president, it is not only assenting to the law. The president can also communicate back to parliament on areas of concern. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm right. On areas of concern. So it's not as if the whole process ends at the point where parliament transmits to the president and the only thing left is for president to assent. The president, under the law, is mandated to look at it, and then areas of concern he can write to parliament and say that I've received the law, but I think that you should look at A, B, C, D. And then parliament also, under the same law, can look at the concerns and the issues raised by the president and also go back to look at it and get back to the president. So it's a process. But unfortunately, this whole thing of us making it look like the process is ended, and that the only thing left at this point is for the president to just sign is wrong. It's erroneous. It's completely misplaced. It's false. That doesn't end there. In between, a citizen of the republic or citizens of the republic who also have rights under the same law that other people have utilized to push a private member's bill says, I have concerns with the law that is about to be passed. So in the process, somebody has taken it to court. Now the Attorney General tells the president that, listen, there is a case pending in court on this matter. What it means is that you cannot go ahead and do anything about this matter until the case is determined. Then the president, through the secretary, decides to proactively write to Parliament and say that based on the knowledge of this case in court, I'm of the view that you should hold on to the processes before it gets made. Because you see, there are specific timelines and tentatives and the process. If you transmit from Parliament to me, I have a certain timeline to do certain things. Is that not the case? Yeah. I think it's a very simple matter. The president reserved the right under the law to write to Parliament. Parliament reserves the right under the law to write to the president. I've seen letters from previous governments all the way from Rawlings writing letters through the secretary of the president to the clerk of Parliament. I've seen the clerk of Parliament write letters to the president through the secretary. And so as I sit here right now, if Lawyer Martin Kpebu and I are in a matter and I am served, and I assumed that maybe Lawyer Martin Kpebu may not have seen the notice, there's nothing wrong if I draw his attention to the notice that I am privy to, because Parliament may not have seen that notice. And so if the president say that I have seen this, and I think that based on that, I am requesting or I am asking that we halt the process until it is determined, I don't know why we are making so much fuss out of it. That's my view. Because you may not have seen that notice, and you could take an action that could be prejudicial to the processes that are going on in court. So it was a simple, proactive, under the law action by the president through the secretary.
And a tour a good Ghana for so, and yet talk to her. I'm for business a collapse ego. Ghanaian businesses are collapsing because of taxes in tea. Adia na ebi anake bia ye ton no ebia 1 cedi no and you turn 3 cedis 4 cedis because production cost tax guso no e doso onipa so ya adwumanya for that Christmas e so teneka to this can be back house na be ya obetumi nya nsika bomo a manufacturers nyomu namu ogana hanen ya sanketwa meanwhile ye wa manoni nyumeku a womu ye adwuma ogana ha eso mutwa to de mayen a womu entia so mutia kwara na se so ma ye be 10,000 a o ma 2,000 na 8,000 ayira hwe oil companies a companies to oil ogana ha we share been financial statement pa hey Ghana penny for bill me ya bro we share been financial statement and I be some say one more ya do GRA Ministry of Finance one more name Ghana Revenue Authority our the workers ekwatena for store no na so bi betos a year pena na ya tiepo no wo mu hu Finance Ministry wo mu nim said sa companies nyina no wo mu sika wo mu de ba se sika se ne nya no aya wo mu tisu se boom wo mu nim wo mu financial statement Ghana ha any financial statement or mother countries and I say mother companies and I say bia amana say UK no what to ho a What you say Ghana pa mondia. In fact, na sa oil companies no ho. Omo financial statement no nyakopon adom yensa kani nyina. Yɛde bɛtoto from 2015, 16, 17, 18 abɛpem nne. Na hwɛ sɛ wɔn a yɛde tumi ama mo so ɔmo gye to ɔma yɛ no. So ɔmo di abra. Ubehu. Board chairman Edema GRE. Commissioner General. Ɛne wɔn a keka ho. Minister of Finance. Musumu ho. You know what is going on. You know it. You can't want to be in casa munim. Actually, to me, Jesus Kana, what are you going to do at IMF? Yakoya Shewo. And yen guase. Am I never seen yes, binomo, and ya stroke mudemu. Am I a fatwa, and to Tony Maso? Am I Namino say, oh, Hannah Tony, their father being near their she baby. Near my walk one a cosso, and came massa. But yet it's one share. But could you, Anna, me pesanka make. Na sadia ma serialize no when you say company say can wase me nyina no one more financial state one more branches or other countries one with 2 oil no and na baby a o modwuma ku ni tiri wo no wo musika sam akuntabu a wo de kɔ financial statement no enonko ene dia wo mo ede kyerɛ gan omo aye de kyerɛ